Welcome
to Film Shapes,
the podcast.
I'm just out here surviving.
Morning, guys. Roly's here again.
Hello.
Hi, and today we have Liam.
G'day.
From
over there
somewhere in the east. Guys, today we're going to talk about Sorry to Bother You, which we all saw together at the Luna last week, I think, yeah.
last year.
Last year, exactly. Now, this is an absurdist social conscience satire, I guess you'd say. Directed by a musician called Boots Riley, starring Lakeith Stanfield, Tessa Thompson, Armie Hammer, Danny Glover, a few others. It was released in the US last year in July. We just get it recently, so that's interesting. But it's made a lot of money compared to its budget, about 17 million over 3 million budget. So it's done all right for a small film.
Was it a $3 million budget?
Yeah.
That is small, isn't it?
Considering they had a few actors of note in it, they must have had to pay them a bit. So, yeah, but not much else of expenditure like CGI or anything. None of that. Or some of that.
They had a bit of that.
We'll come to that later. Guys, what do you think?
I thought it was... Well, what are we doing about spoilers? We're happy to spoil.
We can spoil, but do you want to spoil right now?
Well,
probably have to.
The thing that I think is about the spoiler...
Go for it.
Yeah, well, backwards centaurs. Yeah, it's... I thought it was good to reverse the centaur image because there are so many movies with centaurs in them.
Hang on, wait, you mean backwards as in...
The other way around.
So this is going to be an absurdist podcast in relation to the film as well. We're going to talk in backwards.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. So
reversals.
It looks like we are. Or maybe we already have. Yeah.
Did we?
Yeah.
Was that last year?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. You mean the head and it's like the mermaid and the...
Yeah, the merfish or...
When we have a man on the horses, a centaur is
of course.
a quadrupedal
Yeah. Okay.
creature.
I didn't think of that.
Yeah, so I was thinking of, backward centaurs in movies, and there aren't too many of them, so it's kind of reversing type a little bit. And... and I think actually if you play the soundtrack backwards, the Pastoral Symphony from Fantasia, which has got a lot of centaurs in it, it actually sounds like that.
Yeah, okay. So this is feeling a bit like the movie, isn't it?
It is.
Kind of, wow.
Yeah,
that was my mind.
That's basically...
Are we creating a new genre of podcast right now?
It's possible.
Could be.
But that's kind of where the film takes a bit of a weird one, shall we say?
So maybe we shouldn't have started with that, but now we can explain what it is we're talking about.
Yeah, well, that's a kind of extra level of satire, I suppose, isn't it? You know, they're talking about modern day slavery. The workers are, under the hammer, as it were, and then suddenly they turn into a sort of science fiction. I can't work out what genre this is.
It actually reminded me of Dusk to Dawn. Because the movie's doing something, and then, hang on, it's doing something else.
Yeah. Twin Town?
Yeah,
you ever heard of Twin Town? There's a big change in that movie as well. Twin Town.
Sci-fi, comedy, drama, horror.
Body horror, Cronenberg sort of style.
Yeah, the Cronenberg thing was there.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a little nod to Michel Gondry films as well.
With that dropping of the way the desk drops down when he's actually in the space of, he's a telemarketer. Did you mention that in the intro, the telemarketing?
I didn't, no. He's in a call centre, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, that's his job. That's his, he starts as a very poor guy living in his uncle's garage and then gets a job at a telemarketing firm and becomes... quickly rises up through the ranks thanks to a special ability, which is the white voice. What do you think of the white voice?
I thought
the way that was used in this.
Well, I think it's almost a gimmick to get people in, and then they hit you with the horse thing. Do you know what I mean? Because you think, that's a pretty interesting gimmick. It's been done before by, I think, Robert Downey Jr.'s dad in the 70s, I'm going to say. A film called Putney Swope, where a black dude takes on a white character. Yeah. So it's not a fresh idea, but it's funny, interesting. But
and even Black Klansman.
I haven't seen that.
He pretends to be white on the phone.
Oh, right.
Black Klansman.
Oh, really?
That was... And Boots was not happy with the Black Klansman film for some reason as well, I think. So,
but that's Spike Lee, right?
Yeah, I did a bit of reading around it, and there's but yeah, the whole white voice thing. I read another article, and the author was talking about it as being a great example of code switching. Code switching, it's called.
Oh, I know this. This is when a soccer player goes to play rugby or something like that. Is that right?
In your universe, yeah. No, he's talking about it in terms of it's when black people use a white voice to, to get across, get further in social situations and things. But the guy that originally came up with code switching, I actually looked him up. His name is Einar Haugen. He's a linguist. And he came up with the term in 1954.
Jesus, okay.
But it was really around multilingual people and conversations, and how they could switch use certain terms from a language that isn't their own.
Okay.
In order to enhance communication.
Oh, right. Well, that still happens now, surely. Yeah.
It happens all the time. I think but this particular article I read was more around. It was putting this film in a very political framework around that.
Sure. Well, it fills its boots with politics, doesn't it? This film. So.
Yeah, very much so. No, and it's not very subtle in that way. I didn't.
No, that's true. Well,
that's a criticism, by the way.
Is it?
It's not that subtle. It's sort of it whacks you with the white voice thing, but then I don't know if it's got much more than that. It relies quite heavily on that gimmick to get through.
I think that's a little bit of a furphy, that white voice thing. I think that's an introduction to the rest of it. The sort of we're under the thumb of the corporate society and then in fact to a degree that they're going to try and make horse people to be more compliant and harder workers and shit. I mean that's the final touch, isn't it? Really. So I don't know. I think.
Did you think it's all a bit obvious though? Like it does it kind of just.
Yes, until the horse people, until the equisapiens.
But so then it uses weirdness to try and kind of sort of dig its way out of this hole of kind of predictability to the story in some ways. Is that being a bit harsh, Liam?
I think so. I thought that the Equisapiens introduction made me. Well, I'll remember the movie in some amount of time, whereas I otherwise wouldn't.
I don't know if that's kind of a backhanded compliment. It's
not just a compliment, but it makes the movie stand out. I think I've seen a few too many Hollywood cliche movies lately, and I was pleased this wasn't.
Yeah. But you're right. Yeah, it is pretty blunt, I suppose. Isn't it? Yeah.
But is blunt bad?
No, I mean he's obviously wanted to do something pretty blunt and pretty outlined. Let's say,
yeah. If you need to get a nail into a piece of wood, you don't want a saw. You want a hammer.
I guess the direction of the film is very obvious from the beginning, and so it feels like the surreal stuff is used to kind of make it more interesting because everybody already knows, what the politic of the film is. So it's kind of it felt. I'm going to say it. I got a bit bored in this film.
You got a bit bored.
I got a bit bored. Okay. Yeah. At some point, I feel like the whole thing needed some tightening up or some.
He's a first-time director. I mean,
that's the point. Yeah.
You expect that kind of thing. There were probably some negatives and positives for that. There were some scenes that looked like they went on a little bit long. Maybe that's what you're thinking of. So it could have been tighter, but that's an editing issue as well. So
it's all part of the film, though. I mean, it's part of the craft of the film is
true. You can't just blame the editor, can you? Yeah.
It all comes down to the director in the end.
Yes, it should. It should. Yeah.
The things need to be polished to be good.
Blunt, polished. No, not necessarily. No. Yeah.
I think it had plenty of polish, though. This film, I don't mean it tightening up. I don't think it needed to be any slicker. I just think, there was some stuff in there that could have been chopped a little shorter.
There was a few bits there, and even afterwards, you think, why was that scene there? Where was it going?
Well, the subplot of Tessa Thompson's character Detroit getting on with squeeze to Stephen Ewan.
Yeah, that didn't really matter.
It didn't really float anywhere.
Yeah.
Just sort of, that happened, and then, okay, let's leave that. And maybe that was a sort of something to activate how cool Keith Stanfield's character was by saying, I don't care, it's all right. I don't know. It was almost unnecessary, I think. But she popped up in lots of places. I've just noticed this. She seemed to be always around. Now, is that just because she's the co-lead? I'm not sure. Do you know what I mean?
Well, in a lot of the scenes,
Yeah.
but she didn't need to be.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that. No.
Okay. Like it seemed to be. She was.
I wasn't conscious of that, but
Okay. I'm thinking back on it. She seemed to be always around.
Right.
But that sounds ridiculous. She's in the movie.
she's in the movie though. Yeah,
She's the second lead. What the fuck's going on?
Sexist.
Maybe it stood out
What's
a
that woman doing there all the time?
Maybe she stood out a bit more because she stayed human throughout.
Yeah, I mean, I guess she was supposed to be his conscience, really. But she was in the call centre suddenly. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
He said,
Yeah,
if you want to work, then suddenly she's next to him, and I don't know. I guess my theory was she was put in as the real lead, like she was trying to. So she's taking the film. Is there music in the background here?
Yeah, I have a very active family today, being Christmas holidays.
Yeah.
I'll yell at them later, don't worry.
Thank you. I think that, for me, the scene in her performance art show was probably my favourite scene in the film.
Oh, yeah.
Where she's standing up doing that.
Yeah, because you made a good point about that. She changes to her white voice in that. She's
Yeah.
got this British artisty
That's
voice
right,
that she puts on in the art performance. That was quite good.
Even after she's told him to stop it, it's annoying and stuff. She
Yeah.
uses it anyway. But there's a film that she quotes from called The Last Dragon. Has anyone seen this?
No.
Seems like a real bonkers movie. It's a sort of 80s martial arts dance gangster movie or something, which I'm going to try and track down. It looks like it's a ridiculous movie. I'd like to see that. That's where she does that performance art stuff from.
Yeah, okay. I thought all the performances in the film were good. I've got no problem with any of the actors or the portrayals.
It sounds like a butt is coming here.
Oh, maybe the horses were
Oh, that's
they
interesting.
had some interesting.
One of them was Forrest Whitaker, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So do you think that was a misstep? The Equisapien introduction?
Oh, a misstep.
Like, do they need that in the film?
I think it needed something.
Oh,
They
you
brought
really
the horses
didn't like
in.
it.
It makes it more memorable.
When you said you got a little bit bored, did that make you go, ugh, what the fuck? What's this?
Well, no, that sort of made me go, oh, so this is the solution to my boredom, is it? This weird horses.
Blimey.
The horse.
Okay.
Well, it's just the obvious sort of slavery reference. It's kind of on many levels. Like, it's a really cool film, but
Too obvious.
if you're getting
think?
bored, you've got to kind of go, well, maybe,
I think you seem to have.
or maybe that's my fault. As
Yeah,
well.
maybe. I was about to say.
Yeah.
Maybe if it's the case, then you need to be stimulated.
Do I need to be more engaged, or
Maybe.
what am I supposed to be doing here?
Well, do as you feel is right. I
Maybe a
guess.
different film. I understand. I was a little bit thinking, where's this going? How can they end it, I suppose, is what I was thinking at one point. And then, they're doing this. Okay. That's interesting. Yeah.
I felt like it had, because it's got such important things to say, like I felt at the end of the day it was just like splattering paint on a canvas and
But that can be
letting it land where
that could be
where
art
you'd
too.
like. Yeah, but
Jackson Pollock.
I'm not there to see a Pollock, I want to see a film.
Ooh. But, I mean, what do you want to see, a Monet or a Caravaggio?
Yeah, possibly.
Isn't there a film out at the moment about a woman using a man's name to get ahead in the literary world in
Colette, I think it is. Is that
some
the film?
in the
Keira
a
Knightley?
period drama?
Yeah.
So
okay.
I wonder how similar to that is this, except with the half
Okay.
reverse.
I was
centaurs.
thinking about films. I mean, they're as a very huge umbrella, films where people pretend to be someone else just to get ahead. Tootsie.
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 Go with that.
Yeah, okay.
Lots of films. Some like it hot, I suppose, when they have to dress up as. Well, they're not getting ahead; they're getting away from somebody. It's a pretty well-trod path, I suppose.
But I guess the difference with this was one person in those movies is trying to get ahead, whereas for this it was like if everyone could put on this voice, then everyone could get ahead.
Yeah, I suppose a whole race of people. Yeah. Yeah.
So the $3 million budget is interesting because I was thinking, it's an anti-capitalist film, but it's still a Hollywood film. Is that even possible to have a truly anti-capitalist film made in Hollywood? But $3 million is not a lot of money.
Not these days, no.
For a film.
And maybe that's why people kept popping up in scenes because that's how many actors they had.
Yeah,
right. Had to reuse
them. Yeah. Yes. Who do we need? Oh, she can come back in. Yeah.
But I think part of my skepticism comes from a lot of the writing that I've read about it, just over the weekend and things, which is, this is creating a new genre of film, for the future. People are going to go back and be copying this film, and I don't.
I didn't get that.
No.
Well, that's what there's some of that out there.
It's not it's not a new genre. It's a mixture. It's hard to pin down what exactly it is, but it's not new, I wouldn't say.
I was glad I was sitting down and letting it happen to me for an hour and a half or however long it was. That was fine. I don't guess when I was watching it, I wasn't trying to critique it so much, and I enjoyed the time I was in the movie, and there are bits of it that I'll remember.
A couple of little side pointers. Do you know Danny Glover's in it, right?
Yeah, I didn't recognise him for a long time.
We were talking about him. He must be close to 100. Roly worked out he's probably 50s or 60s. No, 70s.
He was playing the old guy in Lethal Weapon.
Right.
Yeah.
30-something years ago. So now he's an old guy.
But he was sort of playing the middle-aged man, I guess.
Yeah.
Acting older than he was.
But he was ready to retire in Lethal Weapon, remember? That was the whole thing. So he would have been near 60 as a character, but could he have been 40 playing that geezer?
Possibly.
Anyway, I think Cash, Lakeith Stanfield's character, says, "You going to come and dance?" He says, I'm too old for that shit, which is what he said about 100 times in the Lethal Weapon series.
Yeah.
That was interesting. The animation to talk about the horse transformations was made by Michel Dongri instead of Gondry. Was that Dongri? So they've had a little. I don't know. Is it homage or is it a piss take? I'm not sure.
Mistake.
Mistake.
Or was Gondry actually
nothing to do with
on the credits at all?
No, I don't think so. Well, unless it was a thank you to, which we didn't see.
Yeah.
Yes. I must say, thanks to Parazad, if she's listening, she recommended this film to me, and she really loved it.
Well, I think, I feel like we're all a little bit lukewarm on this film. Would have been interesting to talk to her about and have someone give us all the positive angles on it.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I liked it more than you.
Yeah, I think I liked it more than you too.
Yeah.
I think you're down on it.
I'm hovering. I think there were some really funny bits, really good bits, but as a whole, better than average. No.
You see, that doesn't sound that great to me.
Yeah. I think it was better in my mind.
No one in this room is really excited about this film.
Not really excited. I was glad I was there. I've seen a lot of trash lately, and it wasn't trash. It was worth my time.
No, and I'm not
effort.
saying it's complete trash at all.
No,
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it had, it's got a lofty vision, and it doesn't quite reach the heights that it should.
Well, I mean,
on a lot of levels.
I don't think it was as groundbreaking as it sounds like some people think it might have been. But I thought it was a good use of my time to be watching it.
Very good. It was a very good use of my time. That's
on the poster.
I wouldn't take the time back that I took to see it.
Yeah.
But
you wouldn't go again next week.
No, and I'm not sure I'd necessarily recommend it to other people as a film.
Okay. Have you bought a horse head prosthesis?
No, I haven't.
Or the other end?
Right.
Well.
But I'll be interested to see what other films this guy does. I mean,
if he goes back, he might just go back to music.
He might, and I did really enjoy the music aspect of it. That was really punchy soundtrack in the right. But a lot of it did feel a bit like a video clip in that sense as well.
Yeah, good point.
Well,
I'd recommend it for people who want something different, I'd say. Yeah. Final words, guys.
Horse.
Equisapien.
I thought you were going to say horse shit. I hated it. I actually hated it. No, it's like an allegory that doesn't actually reveal that much in the end. Because it's all kind of there at the start, except for the horses.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoy
whatever the fuck that means. I don't know.
I enjoy, and not even just with the horses. I enjoyed the place that it created, which was realistic, except where it wasn't. And I kind of enjoyed, going to that place for a while as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's is it modern day even?
Yeah.
Who knows? It could be future.
Yeah, it's a little bit. Looks like the real world, except it can't quite be.
Alternative near future kind of idea.
Yeah, cool. All right, well, I think that'll be enough for tonight. Okay. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Bye.
Sorry, I didn't think the film was amazing.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, yeah. All right.